successful for his prostate cancer, and I thanked everybody for the support with that. I'm doing the same thing with Nikki Bella because your support that you've shown Nikki Bella obviously is putting Nikki Bella in the position that she's in, and if not for your support as fans of someone like a Nikki Bella, I don't think Nikki Bella would be in the position that she's in and making as successful of a recovery as what she's already made. You know, she still has months to go, and it's a long road ahead for Nikki Bella, but she has the support of people like John Cena. She has the support of all her friends she's worked with before. I know the Divas. We're posting a lot on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in the way of support for her. Just seeing some of the tweets that were coming in, especially on Twitter, and posts on Instagram. You know, the endless amount of support that she received obviously has a lot to do with the position that she's in. John Cena helping her too, and then of course all her family there to help her too through this very difficult time. It's an amazing story. It's really inspirational, and it's something that you should take the time to actually review if you haven't already reviewed it. Now, who hasn't reviewed about this, or who hasn't heard about the surgery of Nikki Bella? If you haven't heard about this, pretty much where have you been the last 6 months? Because this is one of the biggest stories that have been posted on professional wrestling news websites, as I just mentioned, throughout most of 2016. But I think it's one of the most inspirational stories that I think I've heard in the way of injuries and recovery processes. I mean, I remember the recovery process and the road that Becky Lynch was on for rehabilitation through an injury that was career-threatening around the time she had been injured, and how much the NXT subsite on .com profiled that. So I'm looking forward to seeing .com profiling Nikki Bella's road to recovery just as much, or probably even better, than what they did Becky Lynch, because I think a retrospective on the recovery process of Nikki Bella would be really inspirational to people who really don't understand what goes on behind the scenes, because the professional wrestling news websites take a look at a lot of the politics and the issues that go on behind the scenes. WWE.com never really looks at the political issues of professional wrestling as much as what .com or .net does all the time, or WrestleZone seems to do. So I think that looking at the recovery process of Nikki Bella would be an inspirational read for a lot of people on WWE.com who don't really get the chance to see a lot of stuff in the way of backstage footage, photos, and articles that are posted on WWE.com. And it has a lot to do with how Triple H and a lot of executive members of the board believe that WWE.com was invading the private lives of a lot of wrestlers by posting the content they were back probably 5 or 6 years ago, and they eliminated that kind of content because of it. But I think they need to really bring back all the content they eliminated years ago to give us a better retrospective look on what goes on behind the scenes, just as ProWrestling.com, .net, WrestleZone, and Online World of Wrestling have done for a number of years. And I know this because I've been working with these websites for forever, posting content in the way of columns and video blogs on YouTube, on my channel. And I just wanted to take some time and to say thank you to everybody for showing Nikki Bella the support that you have, because without your support, I really don't know where she would be, and probably she herself don't even know where she would be without the fans showing her the support that they have. And that's why when Nikki Bella returns, obviously she's coming back as a fan favorite. You know, if this injury hadn't happened and she would have just disappeared, obviously she would have came back as a heel character, as she has many times throughout her career. Obviously they felt that Nikki Bella being a heel was far more effective than Brie Bella being a heel, but it wouldn't surprise me if they changed it and Brie Bella turned on Nikki Bella, because the attention and Brie Bella played the heel card more so than Nikki Bella. But obviously the way we're looking at it is a reunion of the Bella Twins. If they don't go at the way of Brie Bella turning on Nikki, Nikki will be the fan favorite regardless of how it goes. The reunion of the Bella Twins, the turning of the Bella Twin on the other Bella Twin, whatever way it goes, Nikki Bella is going to be the fan favorite, just as Seth Rollins is going to be a fan favorite when he returns. And if Sting returns, obviously, yeah, he's going to be a fan favorite because he's a legend, and so many fans have always found time in supporting people like Sting, and these legends who always come and go in professional wrestling, who we are never going to see the end of. But let me just say this, you know, in terms of Nikki Bella's future, I think we're drawing conclusions by saying she's finished with professional wrestling, because I think it's far from over for someone like a Nikki Bella, and we have not seen the last of someone like Nikki Bella, and her return is going to be something that's going to be blown out of proportion when it happens, because this is going to be one of the most talked about and profiled things in the way of a storyline for the Divas, and obviously it's going to take up the majority of the storylines that we will see within the Divas division, with the pushing of Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch also. It wouldn't surprise me none if those members of Team Bad, you know, factored in, and the Divas Revolution factored into Nikki Bella's return. Sasha Banks versus Nikki Bella would be a definitely phenomenal substitute out of what could happen between Charlotte and Nikki Bella. If you didn't want to go that route, obviously they could factor into it too. Going back to how I spoke on how the landscape of the Divas division obviously and considerably had changed over the last 5 to 6 years, which undoubtedly it has. But I think there are a lot of ways this could go, and I talked about, the endless opportunities the Bella Twins have still left to create, because even with how many names they've created with in the past, they still have an opportunity to create with names they've never created with before, like Alexis Bliss and Bayley, who are coming up through the NXT Women's Division and already made names for themselves as contenders and champions in the NXT Women's Division. And I think an opportunistic time is definitely obviously really apparent in the Divas Division for the Bella Twins to create stars of tomorrow. And if you're looking to create stars of tomorrow out of people like Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch and people coming up from NXT who will probably debut after WrestleMania 32 this year, the thing is you can create it with the Bella Twins because they have a lot of experience to offer the Divas who have gained the experience and to be given opportunities to create stars out of for the future, which obviously is very apparent, and it's obviously really apparent that times are changing in the Divas Division. What a difference 10 years has made. We've come a long way from Trish Stratus, Lita, and Victoria, who the Bella Twins created with, and that's just an exemplification of how far the Bella Twins' careers go back through the years of professional wrestling. I can recall when they were working with Eve Torres and Kelly Kelly in tag team action and singles competition when they were elevating Kelly Kelly as the Divas Champion, because Brie dropped the Divas Championship to Kelly Kelly when Kelly Kelly was in line for a push. In WWE, the same thing with Eve Torres and countless other divas they've had the chance to work with, like Victoria. It's amazing, how far back you can backtrack the careers of the Bella Twins. So I think that's why people have drawn their conclusions way too soon on people like Nikki and Brie Bella. You can say that Brie Bella is the mirror image of Daniel Bryan as much as what you want. Nikki Bella's career is over. You can say Nikki Bella is done, and they're just making a mirror image wrestler out of Brie Bella towards Daniel Bryan with the kicks to the head, and then of course the yes lock being Brie Bella's finishing move now. But I mean, what else were you going to do with Brie Bella when Daniel Bryan announced his retirement, with how emotional that was? And Nikki Bella being gone for a number of months, you obviously had to do something with her character, and even if she is just a put-over wrestler now, as someone who's putting over people like Charlotte and Becky Lynch for the future of WWE in the absence of her sister, you had to do something with her. So even if you had to go the route of making her the mirror image of Daniel Bryan, at least it was something to do with her, and she wasn't just sitting on the sidelines. So, you can criticize them all you want for, saying this is the end of Nikki Bella, and this is just what they're doing with Brie Bella now because of the fact of everything that's been derived from these last few months. But the thing is, I think more promising times are ahead for the Bella Twins. You just have to learn to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think the times are only just changing in WWE's Divas Division, and things are only going to get better from here on out for the Bella Twins, who I really believe we have not seen the last of. And I think it's just drawing a conclusion by saying that Nikki Bella is never going to be 100%. Obviously, she's never going to be 100%. She broke her fucking neck, so what would you expect from someone breaking their neck to come back at 100% and be the same like nothing ever happened? Obviously, it's going to haunt you. Obviously, it's going to play on you for the next few years if you're going to continue wrestling. It's really taking a gamble, after having an injury like a neck or a back injury, getting back into the ring, because the next time you get injured could be even far more severe than what you previously were injured prior to your surgeries or whatnot. So obviously it's taking a gamble, but for a fact you're never going to be 100%. But even though you're never going to be 100%, you are never going to be forgotten for the contributions you have made throughout your wrestling career, and that obviously is where Nikki Bella is lying right now in terms of a category. Her contributions are never going to be forgotten, and the fan support that she has received has fallen nothing short of overwhelming and incredible. It's just been incredible seeing the ride that she's been on, the superstardom. She's a reality star and a wrestler, both successful at both genres of her career. And it was said, years ago, the Bella Twins had been signed for just total divas, and they were brought back for the purpose of being reality stars. But I think their purpose has definitely been, far more exemplified than what it was previously, of just how they were brought back as reality stars, because now they are focusing on them as reality stars and wrestlers, which is something that's really great, because I think that, just focusing on one aspect of a wrestler's career when they are multi-talented, and the way of the Bella Twins is really a way of undermining them, and that's something you shouldn't do with talents like the Bella Twins, because they are so incredible. We've seen them have their disputes with WWE, and they've let their disputes with WWE remain in the past, and because they've allowed it to remain in the past, they have showed great dedication to the roles as WWE divas, and I think that, just showing them as reality stars is just really undermining them for the talents that they are. So focusing on both them as wrestlers and reality stars is another way of looking at it, and a whole new way of redefining this division, which can exist without the Bella Twins, but even more so, I think, can't exist without the Bella Twins. You can say the Divas division because of the number of names you have in the division now, and an endless flow from NXT coming in and out all the time. You can say the division can last without the Bella Twins, but really, at the end of the day, how long can the division last without the Bella Twins? Because they are the most experienced, along with Natalia, who is still in the division, who can offer a lot of experience too. these new divas. And if you were ever looking to create new stars of the future off of anyone, you could do it with the Bella Twins, which is why I think we're only seeing the beginning of things to come for the Bella Twins, because we have not seen the last of a talent, especially in the way of Nikki Bella. So again, congratulations coming from me to Nikki Bella for the successful neck surgery that she has undergone, and it was a successful one at that. I know there are photos and videos and previous video blogs that I have even thrown up on my YouTube channel relating to the neck surgery of Nikki Bella, which you can subscribe to on my channel at Jonathan Clarke 22, and a lot of people profiling this sort of thing. You know, we're never going to hear the end of it, obviously, on sites like ProWrestling.com and .net, but I just wanted to say congratulations for what was a successful surgery for her, just as I did Bret Hart last week. And it seems like I said here at the top of the show, the injuries on ProWrestling.com and .net seem to become the focal point in the way of news articles, photos, and videos that have been posted and thrown up on these news websites all the time. They are really overflowing the news headlines boards on ProWrestling.com, .net, WrestleZone, Online World of Wrestling. We've definitely heard an endless amount of information on this, and it's really become the focal point throughout most of 2015, 2016, and it probably doesn't need to be. I wish there was something more promising to talk about, but when you talk about things like the WrestleMania card, it all falls back on all these injuries. Hopefully we'll get away from it, and hopefully 2016 will look more promising by the time we get to the halfway point, which will be June of this year, 2016. So hopefully something more promising we'll be looking forward to in 2016 to talk about, rather than all these injuries. Obviously, overflowing the news websites is something you cannot go on without noticing, but hopefully we'll get away from it and things will continue to look more promising for people like Nikki Bella in the very near future, who is on a journey back out of WWE, which looks far more promising than what it ever has before. And that's why I say, and cannot go on without saying, what we have not seen the last of someone like Nikki